Okay, welcome back everyone. Congratulations if you survived the first video. So in this video, basically I'm going to be taking the boat up to Beaucette Marina, which is an interesting little marina to get into. Getting it hauled out by a tractor and having a quick look at the bottom once it's out. This is me raising the head sail. It's been packed away for a while now. You can see I've got lifted up the furling system and then packing it away. It can be a bit of a mission to do this single-handed when the wind's in the wrong direction, but today wasn't too difficult. So this is the route. We're set to go from south to north, so we're leaving the QE2 marina, which is that port marked on the south, heading east and then turning about 45 degrees north, heading up the Little Russell to that waypoint 1 and then heading straight north until we're about 100 meters west of a place called Rudder, pictured there, where there can be some very strong currents, and then we're turning to the west for the approach to Beaucette Marina. It's quite a rocky approach. In fact, that northeast area of the island and area of the Little Russell in general is chock-a-block full of rocks, and if you get it wrong it can all get quite hairy. This shot we're looking at now is demonstrating the annoyances of my furling system. The drum at the bottom that the furling line comes out of frequently kind of overwraps itself and jams up, and what happens is the head sail will come out kind of 90% of the way, but you just can't get those last couple of wraps out. So yeah, it can be a bit of a pain to sort. Having not sailed for a few months, I make a bit of a cock up in that when I leave the marina I turn north far too early, and what happens is the predicted weather, which was supposed to be southeast, should have given us a nice broad reach up there, perhaps even under Spinnaker, didn't materialise, and it ended up being northeast, as you can see by the green arrow on this chart. And what that meant was we took that yellow track on the map, which meant we had to switch the motor on and motor sail basically all the way up until the point where we begun bearing further north. The reason for this is Beaucette Marina has a sill, and it's obviously tidal, so at certain times of the day you can't pass the sill, so we were actually on a bit of a time limit to get there, and this basically meant that because I'd turned north too early, I was heading into wind, so unfortunately we had to keep the motor on a lot longer than expected. Once we got to about point 1 on the map and could turn more north, we were able to bear away onto a close reach, turn the engine off, which is quite nice. Right, I seem to have spoken non-stop through this video, so I'll let you watch some sailing for a little bit.
Like our final hour, I was, which was about 4 hours before I went. Yeah, I can see right there. It's still a long way. Okay, so we might take a shortcut, but it's not. Yeah, but it's like the really good content. I really like that made. I'm really hardcore like that one. Me as well. And they reckon kind of Pungle is the next potential.
Okay, so the marina we're approaching, Beaucette Marina, is situated on the northeast tip of Guernsey in the Little Russell. It's in an area of very high flowing water, particularly at spring tides. It's also in quite a rocky area, so it can be quite a challenging approach. The marina itself was actually, before the 1960s, working granite quarry, I think it was then bought by an investment firm who paid the Royal Engineers to come over and blow a hole in it to the sea to open it into an actual working marina. And on screen now you can see the slipway that will be getting hauled up. There's a pontoon in front of it at the moment. They actually can unfasten that, swing it out of the way to allow boats through. As you can see, it's not the widest of entrances, although easily wide enough for this boat. When you get a bit of swell behind you, it can be a little bit interesting coming through here.
There we go. Too early to call success? I think we can go in now.
Probably worth mentioning that for those that didn't watch the first video, that the bottom of the boat is pretty fouled up, as you can see there. So yeah, it's going to get a blast out. Just as a fair warning, there is now about 5 minutes of the boat being pressure washed down from different camera angles. I find it quite relaxing to watch, but skip ahead by 4 minutes or so, 5 minutes if you don't want to watch this bit.
Okie dokie. It's a glorious night out here tonight. Okay, so basically it looks like now it's been dried out and I've had a chance to have a look at it. We've got a few issues that need sorting out. The prop shaft has got some play. You can hear it clonking around in there. And the rudder also has some play. Kind of left to right, maybe 3 mil. So to get the prop shaft out, to change the cutlass bearing, I need to take the skeg, which is this bit that sits in front of the rudder, off, and that will also allow me to change the bushing at the bottom of the rudder to check that out basically and replace it if needed. Once I've got the prop shaft out, going back to that, inside this stern tube underneath that anode, there's something called a cutlass bearing. It's basically a kind of brass cylinder with like a set of rubber fins inside that help centralize the prop shaft and absorb all the kind of movement and vibration, stop it basically banging into the sides like it is. So yeah, never removed one of those before. Watched a fair few YouTube videos. Doesn't look like fantastic fun. What's going to make it slightly difficult is if it's here, I can't knock it into the boat. I'm going to have to knock it out of the boat, and therefore I'm going to have to drift it from somewhere behind the engine up there. It's not going to be particularly comfortable or pleasant. I don't even know where I'm going to start with that. Probably some long piece of steel tube or something down the prop shaft to see how that goes. So yeah, that's going to be tons of fun. The other thing, the elephant in the room, is our knackered folding prop. It used to be synchronized, but we stripped the mesh in a racing incident, we'll call it that. Yeah, in short, basically need to either replace these blades or replace the whole prop. So I need to take the prop off. How you do that on these ones is you basically have to remove these pins. They're held in place by a couple of screws, I believe. Once they're out, you take the blades off, and then you've got a big nut on the back of the prop shaft, and then in theory that pops off. So yeah, I don't know what order I'm going to tackle the jobs in. I really didn't want to have to take this off. It's not a case of just unbolt it and it comes off. It is bolted on, but it's also glued to the hull basically. So I'm going to have to break the seal, which goes kind of around there, grind that out, maybe get a chisel up in there, and try and get that down. That's going to be a fun job, but hopefully if I can get that done, then no more play in the rudder, no more horrible sound when we're running under engine, and a nice new prop. So it should all be good.